I think I need more coffee. Hey guys, in today's video, I am going to be trying out the new Milani Screen Queen Luminous Foundation. I am so excited to try this out. Milani sent this to me in PR, and these are the shades that they sent me. So hopefully there is a shade match here. They did ask me what shade I was in the other Milani foundation that they do have, and unfortunately that one is not vegan, so I've never tried it out. But I told them basically what I feel like my undertones are. I feel like they're pretty neutral, but I do feel like they're a little bit on the warm side. I feel like my skin looks better with a warm foundation on top of it. If I use a cool tone foundation, it does look very pink. So neutral, but leading towards warm. So I told them that. And the shades that they picked out for me are 120 Warm Nude, 130 Warm Linen, and 140 Nude Ivory. It comes in 45 shades. It's a vegan formula, which is freaking awesome. So excited that Milani has a vegan foundation now. Also, by the way, if you guys are not familiar, I do have a Milani vegan list on my website. So if you're interested in knowing what other products from Milani are vegan, it's a little outdated at this point. I don't know if like the newest products are going to be on that list, but a lot of products are on that list. So if you guys are interested in finding out what else from Milani is vegan, I will link that list for you down below. Anyway, this comes in 45 shades, and it looks like it's a pretty decent shade range. They do have very deep shades, and it looks like they do have very light shades too. And they also seem to have a lot of decent in-between shades as well. It seems like they also have like a good mix of like cool, warm, and neutral tones. So I will just give you guys a little bit of information about this foundation. So it is $13.99. It's obviously vegan, cruelty-free. It's available on Milani's website, Ulta, Walmart, and Target, both in-store and online. So let me just read you a little bit about this foundation. It says to swipe on a luminous skin, filter out blue light. It says that it's a first of its kind formulation that will help conceal signs of digital damage, including dullness, discoloration, and hyperpigmentation. I think we should just get into it. I think I'm just gonna swipe every shade onto my face and see which one matches me. If you guys feel like you are around my skin tone, maybe that will be helpful for you as well. I've never tried a foundation from Milani before, so I am really excited to go ahead and try this out. Oh, and I do want to mention that the PR box that they sent is made with 100% recycled paper. I know a lot of brands have gotten flack for not being the most eco-conscious when they're sending PR packages, and I just want to give a huge shout out to Milani, because in the past they have done some very extravagant PR packages, which is nice and great, and it feels good when you're opening them, but it's really cool to see them come out with a very eco-friendly PR box. Love to see brands like that making an effort. So I have on my skin right now just my regular skincare. If you guys are interested in my skincare routine, I will leave that listed down below as well in the description box. I just did an updated skincare routine video because I've been in quarantine for 3 weeks now. My skin is kind of like going through it. I'm definitely breaking out for sure, and I think it's a mix of stress and like just not caring about doing my skincare. If you look at that video, you can see that my skin, that's how it normally looks. My skin is kind of going through it right now, so just bear with me, but it should be a good test of the foundation to see if we can cover some of the spots that are on my face. So I'm just going to go ahead and swatch these on my face, and it does say on the package that we have to prime the pump until you hear a click. There we go. Just smells like a regular foundation. Nothing unusual about that. So this is the shade 120 Warm Nude. Ooh, this looks like it could be a good match. This is the shade 130 Warm Linen. It looks very, very neutral. It might be a little light, so let's pray that the shade 140 Nude Ivory is going to be a match, because if not, then I'm gonna be using a shade that's a little off, which is fine. I'll still be able to get an idea for the formula. This is the shade 140 Nude Ivory. I'm really curious to know what you guys think. I think honestly the middle color is going to be like the best as far as like undertones go. So I think I'm just gonna go with that and just kind of wipe that off a little bit. Okay, so I'm just gonna go with the shade 130 Warm Linen. This is my absolute favorite brush in the world. This is the Hourglass Vanish foundation brush, I guess, but I use it for like everything. So I'm gonna see how this works with a brush. I usually don't use a sponge, so let's see. I'm just going to dot this on my face. It's so weird wearing foundation. I like hardly ever wear foundation anymore, but I'm not wearing a primer. I just want to give the foundation like the best chance without using a primer. I just am wearing moisturizer, my normal skincare routine, so I can give the foundation like the best shot of what I think. Okay, if you just ignore that this is like too light for me, it's starting to dry. So you have to work fast with this foundation, I will say. I'm starting to look a little bit like a ghost, so I'm just gonna add 140 on top of that to see if I can kind of fix the fact that this is way too light for me. Not really. Okay. But it does dry fast, so you do have to work quick with this foundation. But I will say, this is a really pretty foundation. Honestly, it doesn't even look like I'm really wearing foundation. So I'm going in with my now, I guess this would be like the third pump. I'm curious how this would work with a sponge. My friend Katie, she is Kitty Snack here on YouTube. She just did a little like video using this foundation, so I will link that for you guys down below. And I believe that she did use a sponge and it worked out great for her. This really does not even look like, it doesn't look cakey. It doesn't look like I'm wearing a heavy foundation. It just kind of looks like my skin. I'm gonna try to like build it up a little bit, see if that works, see if we can cover the spots that I don't want. Just like a little bit of like redness and stuff peeking through, so I just want to see if I can cover that up. It seems to be building even really nicely. I will say this is not the most full coverage foundation, so if you guys are looking for a full coverage foundation, well, this is like a luminous foundation, so it's not going to be a matte full coverage foundation. If that's what you guys are like hoping to get out of this foundation, then I think you're going to be disappointed. But it looks like my skin but better, and it just looks like it's taking the redness out. I think if I wore this out and maybe I just wore the foundation, I don't really even think that you would be able to tell that I'm actually like wearing foundation. It looks so nice and natural. Okay, I'm pretty happy with the coverage. I'm just gonna add a little bit of concealer on top. I'm gonna use the Milani Conceal and Perfect. This is the shade Nude Ivory. I really like this concealer. This is like one of my favorite concealers. Okay. Can you guys see how dark? This is my like mostly everyday concealer. Like this concealer, I have to like really dig in there to try to get it out, and it is considerably darker. Can you guys see how much darker this concealer is than my skin around it? This might be the lightest shade that they have in this concealer. If it's not the lightest shade, it's like one of the lightest shades. So if you guys are around my skin tone, I would say try to get a darker foundation shade. And of course I wanted to use a Milani concealer shade because I figured that they would play very, very nicely together. The only flaw that I have to say about this foundation so far is the shade match is just not there, but it's okay. We're gonna work along with it. I'm not loving the way that this looks with the concealer. I think I put on too much foundation. I feel like if I had my actual shade, then I would not have put so much foundation on, but I felt like because the shade was so drastically different than what my skin tone actually was, like I really wanted it to look even. So I don't think that this is like looking that great. It looks a little bit cakey up close, but we're just gonna go with it. I'm just going to go ahead and start using other products on top of this and see if we can fix it. So I'm gonna go in with my Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. This is like my absolute favorite product in the world. You guys know that. I'm just gonna go in right where I put that concealer and just pray for a miracle. Okay, this looks way better. This is really adding the luminosity back into the foundation. I feel like this claims to be a luminous foundation, and maybe I haven't used that many luminous foundations to know, but it seemed more to me like a more matte foundation. And now this is picking up product. Okay. The Flawless Filter definitely picked up the foundation, and I haven't found that that is a problem. This is helping going in with my finger, kind of. I feel like it's maybe warming up the product a little bit. Save it. All right, I'm gonna go in now with my trusty handy dandy milk bronzer. These are two of my favorite products, the Hollywood Flawless Filter and the milk bronzer. So if these look bad, we know who the culprit is, because these are some of the best. And actually the Milani concealer is like one of my favorites too, and I've used the Milani concealer with the Flawless Filter and the bronzer as well. So if we have any issues, then we can definitely narrow it down to the foundation, because my skincare, the other products that I normally use, they usually work very well together. But I will say, if this is a problem with the foundation, it just could be it doesn't work well with these products, but there are other products that'll work with them. But I'm assuming that if you are looking for a luminous foundation, that you are also a fan of cream products, and they should work well together. Okay, this is beautiful. Now this, chef's kiss. We are saving this foundation. Took a minute to get here, but I think we're doing good. Some foundations, they just need the right products to work with, and that's okay. It just takes a learning curve to know what products work well together and what products don't. So far, this milk bronzer has worked with every single product that I've tried it with. So I'm grateful that the products that I normally use are seeming to save this foundation. What do you guys think? I'm gonna add a little bit of powder blush. I'm going to use the e.l.f. Always Cheeky blush. It's the primer infused blush that I've used like 700 times, and it's great. It's amazing. Looks great. Looks perfect. I had no doubts that this was gonna look amazing on top of this foundation. It looks good, honestly, on top of like anything. And this is also the Sigma Duo Fiber Powder Blush Brush in the style F15. This was sent to me in PR. I'm gonna go back in with this same little handy dandy hourglass brush and just kind of blend that all together, which you may not think is a good idea to go on top of a powder with something that we use with liquid. I don't know if it works with all blushes, but with this blush, it looks really good. Okay, so I think I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of my face off camera, and I will be right back to powder and to kind of give you guys final thoughts of my first impressions before I do a wear test. All right, so I'm back. Here is the look very simple, easy look that I went for today. I really like the way that the foundation is looking with other products on top of it. I feel like the only place that it doesn't look like the hottest is where I put the Milani Conceal and Perfect Concealer. But I did put the Stay Naked Concealer by Urban Decay kind of in some areas to just kind of make it look a little bit better, and it actually did work really well with this foundation, this concealer. This concealer was also sent to me in PR by Urban Decay, but I feel like it looks, I mean, this is like, I guess supposed to be more of like a natural kind of concealer, so it looked really nice to get together with this foundation. But I like the way that the foundation set. It doesn't like come off or anything, and I don't have any powder on it, so I'm just gonna go ahead and like take the slightest amount of powder under my eyes. I feel like that looks good, and it does take the like luminosity away, but it doesn't look like super matte. I feel like it has like a little bit of, it just looks super like natural, I guess you could say. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to put a little bit of the powder on my forehead as well, because it is going into like my fine lines a little bit. So I'm just going to take this powder and just like that. Now on the forehead, I feel like this got really matte, and okay, I feel like this powder it doesn't usually look matte, but I feel like with this foundation, I feel like it does look like a little matte up here, a little bit more matte than I would normally go for. I think if you are wearing this foundation, I almost feel like it looks better without powder, but I have been a person lately who just is preferring a foundation without powder anyway, so that could also contribute to why I am feeling that way right now. I'm just going to go ahead and throw on some lipstick, just a nude, any nude. Shocking that I choose to wear a nude. All right, so here is the final makeup look and my thoughts about this foundation. I think that it's going to work for a variety of skin types and a variety of skin preferences. If you guys are in the market for a vegan drugstore foundation, I really think that this is a great option. It has a huge shade range, which is a huge plus. It's also affordable. It's available in store. It's available online. Milani is one of those brands that you can find pretty much in store at every drugstore, which is awesome. But as far as the foundation goes, I feel like if you are someone who likes a more dewy foundation, and if you can forego powder, I think it looks really luminous. As you guys can see, like most of my face does look pretty luminous. I think that this could also work for someone who likes a matte foundation, because if you powder this foundation, it does look very matte. I think this looks great with the moisturizer that I chose to use. The only thing I would say is I feel like even though it looks like a very luminous foundation, I feel like it's a more of a dry, luminous foundation. Like, it doesn't feel like an oily type of formula. So if you do have more of a dry skin, I might even recommend maybe adding like an oil or something, just to make sure it's going to be super luminous and dewy on you. But yeah, as of right now, I really don't have any complaints about this foundation. I did touch a little bit at the bottom just to see if I could get any off on my fingers. There's no transfer, and this is not set down here, by the way, so that's a good sign. I just like that it looks really natural. In the future, I probably, if I were to wear this foundation again, I don't think that I would set it, because I do prefer this like luminous look without powder. But I feel like it's a very versatile foundation, and honestly, like I'm not mad about this foundation. I haven't really watched that many reviews yet, and I'm curious to know what other people think about it. The only person I saw was Katie, and she really liked this foundation. She does prefer matte foundation, so it kind of surprised me that for a luminous foundation, people who prefer matte foundations are actually really liking this foundation. I'm just going to wear this for a few hours, and I will be back with a final check-in and let you guys know what my final thoughts on this foundation are. Alright, so it is the end of the night and this is what my face is looking like. I've had it on for maybe like 5 or 6 hours. I am still like in quarantine, so I'm not like going anywhere and I'm not, you know, leaving the house. I'm not gonna have like an extreme wear test. This is what the foundation looks like. If you guys can see, there is like breaking up of the foundation around my nose and down around my chin. And actually where I had set it with powder up on my forehead, it actually looks pretty darn good. I did like the foundation at first with no powder on top of it, but at this point, I feel like I would maybe put a light dusting of powder on top. I feel like that's made my foundation look better throughout the day, which is usually the opposite for what I go for in a foundation. Honestly, I would wear this again and I would try powdering it. But yeah, overall, I'm not mad about this foundation and I think it looks pretty freaking good. I know it's been like only a few hours, but if it's only been a few hours and my face looks like this good, like I'm not mad about this foundation. So yeah, I hope that this helped you guys in some way or another. And let me know what you think down below in the comments, and I hope to see you again soon. Go ahead and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, if it helped you, and subscribe for future vegan cruelty-free content. Bye!